Welcome everyone. We are dealing with the subject the Code of Civil Procedure, and today's topic is judgment, which is provided in Order 20 and also defined in Section 2 Clause 9 of the Code. Section 2 Clause 9 defines the term as the statement given by the judge on the grounds of a decree or an order. So it's also important that we know what a decree or an order is, and also we can differentiate between the three terms judgment, decree, and order. The suit starts with filing of a plaint, but it ends with the pronouncement of the judgment. So it's equally important that we know what judgment is, what the contents of the judgment are, what are the rules with respect to the pronouncement, etc. So, what the judgment actually is, it refers to what the judge observes regarding all the issues and matters and the decision on each of the issue. Hence, every judgment consists of facts, evidence, findings, etc., and the conclusion made by the court. It can be defined as a judicial determination, putting an end to the action by any award or redress to one party, or discharge of the other, as the case may be. So, in a judgment, either the suit can be decreed or it can be dismissed against a party. Once the judgment is pronounced, the copies of the particular judgment should be immediately made available to the parties on payment of cost as specified by the party applying for such copy by paying such charges, and the rules for the same are different for different high courts. Such provision has been provided under Order 20, Rule 6B of the Code of Civil Procedure. The judgment can be written or it can be even pronounced in an open court. Where a written judgment is to be pronounced, it shall be sufficient if the finding of the court on each issue and the final order passed in the case are read out, and it shall not be necessary for the court to read out the whole of the judgment. Whereas, where the judgment is pronounced in an open court by a dictation, it should be dictated to a shorthand writer if the judge is specifically empowered by the High Court in this behalf. Now, what are the essential elements, or we can say contents of a judgment, which should be there? First of all, a judgment should possess the essentials of a case, reasoning, and basic contention on which it is delivered, or the grounds of the decision. Rule 4, Sub Rule 2 of Order 20 provides for the same. It says that the judgment of the courts, other than those of the small causes court, should contain the following 4 points. Number 1, a concise statement of the case, which means a concise facts which are there for the case. Number 2, the points of determination. Here we are referring to the issues between the parties. CPC already provides for settlement of issues. Those issues are set the points of determination. Third is the decision of the court. Courts have to pronounce their decision on the same facts and on the same issues. Number four is the reason for such decision by the court. The court cannot pronounce its decision without reasons. Reasons is one of the most important part of its decision, which is contained in the judgment. We can also differentiate at this point a decree and a judgment. A decree does not contain the reasons behind the decree, but the reasons behind the decree are provided in the judgment. Therefore, we have to refer the judgments. A decree is very small part of judgment. It basically gives the end product of a judgment, which is given in a decree. Next, judgment of the small causes court. In this, there are only 2 points mentioned. Number one, the points of determination, that is the issues, and number two, the decision. Therefore, the courts can skip the facts and also the reasons behind the decision if the judgment is for the small causes court. Coming to the question whether the judgment once pronounced can be altered, that is changed. Now, as a general rule, once a judgment has been dated or signed by the judge, it cannot be opened or altered. But under Order 20 Rule 4, CPC provides that the judgment shall be dated and signed by the judge in an open court at the time of pronouncing it, and when once signed, shall not afterwards be altered or added to, save as provided by Section 152 or review. So we are saving Section 152 and review, which means that these two factors are the exceptions to the general rule, which is number one, Section 152 talks about any clerical or arithmetic mistakes or errors due to accidental slips or omissions. In this case, a judgment can be altered if we apply to the court. Number two is the ground of review. If one party wants to review the judgment under Section 114, it can go to the court and apply for the same. In this case, also, a judgment can be reopened. Once we know that a judgment can be reopened or altered by applying for review, and if your application is accepted, we can always go for a review of the judgment. But what are the grounds on which our judgment can be reviewed? There are four main points which are given here. Number one, when the application when the applicant discovers any new or important evidence which was not known to him or her, or even because of by the due diligence and not by negligence, it was not able to provide the evidence while the decree was being passed. Number two, when there is an error apparent on the face of the record, which is decided judicially on the facts of each case. However, an application for review cannot be made on the grounds stating an erroneous decision of the court. Third, when any other sufficient ground have been found which is analogous to those specified in the rules mentioned in the code. Number four, when a sufficient ground has been established stating the misconception of the court. There can be other grounds of the review as well, depending on the facts and circumstances of the case. Also, we should know about the rules of the pronouncement. So, the court has to pronounce the judgment in an open court after completion of the final arguments. It can be either on the same day or some other day after giving due notice to parties or their counsel. And every endeavor shall be made by the court to pronounce the judgment within 30 days from the date on which the hearing of the case was concluded. And in exceptional or in extraordinary circumstances of the case, the court shall fix a future day for the pronouncement of the judgment. And such day shall not ordinarily be a day beyond 60 days from the date on which the hearing of the case was concluded, and due notice of the day so fixed shall be given to the parties or their pleaders. So a judgment should be pronounced either within 30 days, and if the court is unable to pronounce it in 30 days, then the max period it can take is 60 days. However, it shouldn't go beyond 60 days. But Supreme Court has in many cases said that it can be take even beyond 60 days if it can explain sufficient grounds for doing the same. In the case of Anil Rai versus State of Bihar 2000 Supreme Court, the Supreme Court held that it is true that for the High Courts, no period of pronouncement for judgment is contemplated either under the Civil Procedure Code or in the Criminal Procedure Code. But as the pronouncement of judgment is a part of the justice dispensation system, it has to be without delay. In a country like ours, where people consider judges only second to God, efforts be made to strengthen that belief of the common man. Delay in disposal of the cases facilitates the people to raise eyebrows, sometimes genuinely which, if not checked, may shake the confidence of the people in the judicial system. A time has come when the judiciary itself has to exert for preserving its stature, respect, and regards for the attainment of the rule of law. For the fault of a few, the glorious and the glittering name of the judiciary cannot be permitted to be made ugly. It is the policy and purpose of the law to have speedy justice, for which efforts are required to be made to come up to the expectations of the society for ensuring speedy, untainted, and unpolluted justice. Court also in the case of Case Server, Case Server versus M.K. Virendra Babu held that the Supreme Court, if the judgment is not pronounced, the judgment is liable to be set aside only on the ground of delay in its announcement, even if the judgment is otherwise sound and sustainable in law. The parties even acquire the right to mention the matter for early hearing, and they can even approach the High Court for withdrawal of the case on delay having been occasioned after conclusion of oral arguments. So, hereby, we can conclude our topic by saying that the judgment is almost the most important aspect for any suit. The parties go to the court in order to get their right, in order to get a judgment, and therefore, it is court's duty to pronounce the same within the due time and also by hearing the parties. Thank you.